They also had, you know, the
Yeah, I
stuff that
gotta, I
was,
gotta ask, man. So you come to Canada at like 8, right?
yeah,
How is it like coming here? Because I started working with these Ukrainian girls at work. I have like 3 of them. They report to me. They're like late 20s. I've
right,
learned one thing. I'm soft as fuck. So like, they have made it clear to they made it clear is what they don't like say it because I'm their boss. They made it
right.
clear to me that like to them, we kind of soft on this side of the pond. So like, what's it like being like an 8-year-old and getting here, just from like a culture shock or like difference
Well, for
perspective?
instance, what I immediately remember was like, you're not allowed to get into like too many fights at school here. Over there, I was like daily scraps. So I come over here and I started getting in shit real quick at school, right? I'd be fucking put in the corner, sent to the principal's office or whatever, because like I'm getting made fun of for being the weird foreign kid. And then I'm like, okay, well, I don't have the grasp of the language yet to fucking just, you know, clap back at people verbally. So I'm gonna fucking fight you. And then that was like a big one, man. Like just the school system, just how things were done. Like even like culturally, like first day of school, right? Like kids dress up, like they go, parents put them in like little like, you know, mini suits and stuff. Like it's all fucking, it's all like heavy duty, right? There's like flower. It's like a whole fucking pageantry because the educational system's very held to a high standard in Russia, man. And just coming over here, I got laughed at like the first day of school because my parents like they don't even like think about like, oh, this is an entirely different culture, man. Like, but then they're like, we're gonna do it exactly how we do it back home, and cares about how hard our son's gonna get bullied, man. That shit was rough, let me tell you, dude. Yeah, I show up to class for like with like flowers for the teacher on the first day of school and all this shit. Like that's how we do it over there. Yeah, it was crazy coming over, man.
Yeah, that's wild. Still, I mean that's
It's
a
a
cool
school.
custom. I'm not gonna
Right? Yeah,
lie.
they revere the first day of school and they make like a big thing out of it in class. Like, you know, you're supposed to sit like upright with your hands on the table like this. You have a question, it's one of these. You don't do like, oh, teacher, pick me, all this shit. Like the way it's school, the school system is done over here, very lax compared to over there. So yeah, I do agree with what the Ukrainian girls told you, man. It's soft, you know, a lot of parts it is, man. Because I remember even like just like other stuff where like I'd be you know on a playground in my grandparents like project buildings like just in the center there where they have the shitty little playgrounds and there'd be kids younger than me. I was in like grade 7 visiting at the time, and there were kids who were like, oh, you want to go back to my apartment? My older brother, he's at work right now, but I know where he hides like his heroin and his heroin needles. And I was like, I'm sorry, come again? This is like 10, 11-year-old kids being like, you want to go shoot up heroin? I was like, holy fuck. I'm like, I swear I hear my grandma calling for dinner. Hey, peace out, guys. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it's definitely coming over here. I was like, word, okay, so things are a lot like,
I'm not
yeah, it
gonna
was big,
lie. Nobody's offered me to do heroin, so I don't know.
definitely not.
Maybe I'm in the wrong room. I don't know if that's like a brag or not. Like if that can happen, but like that is fucking serious.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, they'd be like, you know, my grandparents lived on the first floor. Well, essentially, like the first flight. The first floor is just like the mailboxes, and then you go up the stairs. Their door is the first door right there on that landing. That front fucking door to the house was maybe this fucking thick, dude. It looked like a fucking bank vault door with like a leather finish, like, you know, stapled leather on top of it. And it had maybe like 3 different locks, 2 chains, like this thick, man. And I didn't think anything of it at the time because that's just what I grew up with. But thinking back, I'm like, holy crap, like front doors here have fucking glass windows in it, bro. You know, you go into an apartment, even like you could fucking, with hard enough, you could probably boot that door down in some places. And they were living with like, they had bars on their windows, man. And I came over here and I was kind of like, oh yeah, like Canada.
I,
Yeah,
I can see how our reputation is kind of a little bit what it is in terms of a place people want to go.
absolutely, man. Just the healthcare system, stuff like that, right? Like you're able to fucking not have to always walk your kids to school for fear that some van might come and like scoop them up and your kid gets sold into like, you know, Lord knows fucking what kind of trafficking, right? Like that was a real thing, and I never understood that until I came here and grew up a little bit. Why my mom was always so like overly protective of me when we'd go out in public or when we would go into Moscow, you know, downtown. Like she would like, dude, my hand would be like bruised from how hard she was squeezing it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are you so like, you know? excessive with the watching over me like a vulture. There was a reason, man. You know. Yeah.
Bro, that is
Good shit.
like a level of shit we just never think about with regards to like reality. I mean, that's part of why the show's called Bridge the Gap, right? Like, because a lot of people don't know a lot of people's experiences, where they come from, this, that, the next thing, and just what
Yeah.
it's like in other places. Plus, how often do people get to talk candidly about growing up in Russia? I mean, they probably do, but they don't often do it around me.
This is the place. This is where you got to do it. Exactly.
Like, I don't know if the other people do it. There might just be like a whole show on YouTube that's just like people candidly talking about Russia, and I never looked into it. But like, um,
Maybe an entire series. Yeah.
so I guess when you come here, what part? You come to Ontario, right? Like, I don't remember where you land.
Yep. Ontario. We lived in Etobicoke area. I was there. We lived in an apartment there. Yeah, lived there for about 3 years, I want to say, and then moved to Oakville for when I was starting sixth grade, and then yeah,
I gotta remember. I don't remember where Oakville is.
it's in the GTA. It's like yeah, maybe like 40-minute drive out of Toronto.
Oh, you're
It's near.
like Toronto-ish.
Yeah,
Toronto-ish.
GTA area. Yeah, for sure.
You're
And then
like
before that,
past
yeah, we lived in
Mississauga. So you're like the outskirts of. I just Google Maps it. The outskirts
yeah.
of Mississauga. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, before that. Now I am living in Mississauga.
Which is still not really Toronto. It's still the GTA, right? Or is that more
Exactly. Yeah,
Toronto
but you know what?
proper?
It's like second biggest nearby city. Yeah.
I feel like if I was in Mississauga, for the sake of Google, I would say Toronto.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
That's
I don't,
fair.
I
But
don't
you
really
know,
know though, cause like I'm not out there.
people make a whole deal out of like people not from Toronto claiming Toronto, because you know what I mean. So I keep it as accurate as possible. I'm not trying to claim fucking anything, man. I'm a man of the world. I don't, you know, I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
really
very
be all.
happy to claim
Right.
Montreal. It's super simple. I was born on the island.
There you go.
Simple as
There you go.
fuck.
I've been all over, right? So
I mean, you are like, you can claim Russia, I guess.
yeah, but at the same time, man, I don't know. I've never been one to just like do that. Like
I mean, okay,
I don't
so
know. That kind of stuff doesn't resonate with me. The whole like waving the fucking flag and shit. Like I love all walks of life. I
I'll
love
say
it's
word.
one man. I
Alright,
don't really
so
like.
this
Yeah,
is
I'm
like,
proud of my Russian heritage and culture and stuff, but I don't really need to be like, the moment I meet people, be like, oh hey, like I'm from Russia and this is what I do. Like like that's my that's part of my character. Like I'm me, man. I don't where I'm come from. It's all part of the story, right? By the end of my life, if I never go back to Russia and I die at 90 years old, and I only was there for like 8 years and maybe visited
mm,
again, I become such a small fraction of like what my entire timeline is at the end of the fucking day. I can't be defined by just that because
that's
that's where I
fair.
got squeezed out of the womb there.
So the general understanding I have is it's where you went to high school that counts.
Word. Oakville.
And then with regards to that, it's more about the team sport that is hip hop. It's more like
Right.
where you're from is the team you're on, whether you like it or not, because there's this geography element to the team sport of hip hop like that. And
Yeah,
that,
see, I'm trying not to even play into that. That's what I mean, right? Like I've never even really I understand when it came out, that was a big element, man, because it would be like borough against borough and the city
mm,
versus city. It was a very large like pride thing and holding it down for your locale. But yeah, me, because I come from over one place and then I flew over here and then I moved here and then I went to high school here, then I went to university like completely like 3 hour drive here. Then now I'm living in a different city. Like fuck man, that's all just pieces of the fucking puzzle that gets put together. I don't want to be sitting here
mm.
fucking, shouting out Oakville all fucking day long. It's part of it, but it's whatever.
I wouldn't necessarily do it all day long. I would just look at it like, so I mean for me it's like part of this puzzle of how do you create local scenes, because local scenes is really what fuels international scenes. If you can get like
Yeah,
200
no
people in your neighborhood to show up to your shit, promoters are going to pay attention to you in a different way. I think that's
doubt.
part of why it happened the way it did. Right now the more I say NDG, I mean, I'm actually from Coast St. Luke. Oh my gosh. I'm not even from NDG. I'm from like the neighborhood that's not like part of NDG, but that's where I live now, right? Like, so I'm
Right,
like,
right,
fuck.
right.
This is where I'm invested in. This is the current place I'm at.
That's what I'm talking about. That invested in shit, right? Like it doesn't matter where the fuck you set foot before. I suppose it's more where you hang your hat and where you're willing to put more of yourself into.
Facts. So I mean, at that point, the team sport thing is kind of interesting, and I have to think about that because I have to fucking brand y'all, as in
Hmm.
so and so artist, as in a location, and it's super easy when I say Montreal or whatever. But then I put Ontario for a lot of people, and then I like in the later video might tweak it to like a more specific
Yeah,
location.
but that's still accurate, man. Whatever, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like I never heard of a Oakville. I don't know if Oakville's a good like.
Probably for the better, man. It's probably for the better. It's nothing crazy, man. It's like it's you know, upper middle class kind of stuff, but then it's got its fucking shady areas, a lot of fucking, kids that come from affluent families, partying, kind of living a more higher lifestyle, I guess. A lot of coke, a lot of like party drugs. It's one of those cities, man. And then all people do is talk shit about there's nothing to ever do there. And you'd always go, out of town to go get up to no good and shit like that. Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah,
But that's why I'm saying, I don't want to be out, I'm not ever going to be that dude who's fucking waving a flag for like one spot. Where I'm at the moment, that is my spot. And, that always just becomes part of moving forward who I am. But I understand people who, really, really like, champion for their zone, right?
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It's just business. At the end of the day, I'm not
Right.
like to put it so callously. For me, at least, it's like, well, I'm here. There's a lot of people here. Not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people talk about it. Like as in, think about the number of times you hear that many people talk about Montreal.
Depends where your ear is, right?
I mean,
I hear people talk a lot about Montreal because where I choose to place my
but in
attention.
general, outside of Montreal.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
So it's like, oh, say word. This is an opportunity to like discuss things that like maybe other people could care about or whatever. But
Right.
like, I totally get what you're saying. I think it matters more for me as a media person like this to rep Montreal than it does necessarily as a musical artist. But then I just started
Yeah,
fucking with
I see
it.
that. I see that. I see that.
And then like I realized that the one thing that happened to me when I started repping my city is a lot more people in my city started fucking with me. But I live in Montreal. It's a very privileged place to make some of these claims.
Right. I see. Yeah, I can see that.